Toyota, a well-known car company that is always looking for ways to improve, is getting ready for what it thinks will be a major paradigm shift. In a recent announcement, Toyota said that it wants to join the next generation of battery electric cars. This could be a big turning point for the company. Even though Toyota makes more cars than any other company in the world, it has been criticized for being behind in the race to make electric cars. But this new thing shows that Toyota is determined to catch up and beat innovative companies like Tesla. The company thinks that a new solid-state battery technology is the key to speeding up its EV journey. Toyota's new battery technology is a big step forward and could change the way EVs are made. But by the time Toyota's new battery hits the market, Elon Musk's Tesla could have made more progress in the EV market. Toyota is trying to catch up, but it's important to remember that Tesla's founder, Elon Musk, is a master at pushing the limits and always looking to the future. Toyota has fought hard against electric cars to try to put off what was going to happen anyway. The company, which used to be at the forefront of automotive innovation, has lost its lead in the largest and highest-grossing segment of the auto market, electric vehicles, but they haven't given up yet. And that's why they've been lobbying policymakers in Washington and running ads for ICE vehicles to slow down the rate of EV adoption, hoping they still have a chance to get ahead. Toyota is putting a lot of money into other technologies, such as hybrid cars, where it is already the leader, and hydrogen fuel cells, which we talked about in detail in the last video. But these are small investments that will stay small. Electric cars, on the other hand, are at the center of this move towards a more sustainable future. Toyota knows this, and they know they need to be a big player in the electric vehicle market. And that's why they want to get there by taking a different route. They can't compete directly with Elon Musk and Tesla, whose ship they've already tried and failed to get on, so they have to try to get ahead of Tesla in some other way. In this case, by being ahead of the curve when it comes to battery technology for the next generation of electric cars. Toyota says it has made a breakthrough with a solid-state battery that will have a very long range and charge very quickly. This would be a big deal for the industry because it would fix some of the biggest problems with EVs right now. But Elon Musk doesn't seem too worried about what Toyota has planned because he has his own ideas. Toyota says that its solid-state battery could go 745 miles, which is almost 1,200 kilometers, and only take 10 minutes to charge for a car with this kind of miles on it. The holy grail of electric vehicles is a solid-state battery, which would replace the liquid or gel electrolyte found in most lithium-ion batteries with a solid electrolyte material. This has a lot of benefits, like a higher level of safety because there is no chance of leakage, which lowers the risk of thermal runaway and fire hazards. The solid material would also make it possible to store more energy in a smaller space. This would increase the battery's capacity, which is what Toyota means when it says it has a long range. Solid materials are also less likely to break down over time, which would make the battery last longer, have more cycles, and charge faster, without destroying the battery or making it get too hot. And solid-state batteries are more stable and resistant to thermal expansion and contraction. This means they can work at a wider range of temperatures, which is another problem with traditional lithium-ion batteries, which don't work as well in cold or extreme temperatures. So it's clear that a battery made with this technology would be huge, if not a revolution for electric cars. If a company could bring this to market, as Toyota says it can, it would make a lot of money. Keiji Kaita, the president of the Toyota Research and Development Center for Carbon Neutrality, says, "We want to completely change the fact that current batteries are too big, heavy, and expensive. This is true for both our liquid and solid-state batteries. We will try to have all of these things in terms of potential." Now, Toyota's future in the electric vehicle, EV market, depends a lot on how successful and widely used this impressive technology is. It's the key to Toyota's ambitious comeback and promises great performance and capabilities. But even though it has a lot of potential, there are a number of important problems that must be solved along the way. Toyota is saying today that their battery can give their car a range of 745 miles and a 10-minute charging time. But they don't plan to start making this until 2027 or 2028, which makes it hard to believe that they will be able to do this. That's 4 to 5 years away, and you usually have to bet on chemistry breakthroughs to make that happen. We can look at what Tesla said about the 2020 Battery Day 3 years ago. At that point, they already had at least a part of a prototype production line, and they were focusing on scaling up that technology from close to zero production. Now, in June 2023, they made their 10 millionth 4,680 battery cell at Giga, Texas. This is a huge accomplishment in and of itself, and it doesn't even count the 4,680 cells made at their original pilot facility on Cato Road, which would add to this number, even though Giga Texas is meant to have a much higher capacity in the long run. But even if there were 10 million cells and each Tesla Model Y used about 830 cells, that would only be enough to make about 12,000 vehicles. Even after 3 years of ramping up production, that's not a lot of cars for Tesla or Toyota. Also, Tesla hasn't even put in their whole technology suite, which includes a number of new inventions and chemical processes that will be used to increase the energy density of the battery cell and will be shown off at Battery Day in 2020. So, this is a huge achievement, and 4,680 production is likely to go through the roof in the future, given that engineering bottlenecks have been fixed and the S-curve is still going up towards their factory's capacity. But Tesla's 4,680 ramp-up still has a long way to go in terms of size and new technology. This shows how much work it's taken to get where they are now, but also how hard it is to use a new technology on a large scale. Tesla originally made the 4,680 so that it could be made easily. They had worked with Panasonic before because they worked together to make the 2170 battery cell. So, their goal was to grow even more quickly. They started with lithium-ion chemistry, which is already a proven technology, and are trying to scale it up while adding new technologies along the way. Their first versions of the 4,680 are mostly the same as the NCM batteries they use in their current vehicles, except for the case and shape. Toyota, on the other hand, is starting with the chemistry, then trying to figure out how to scale it. One of the biggest problems with solid-state batteries is that they can't leave the lab for exactly this reason. There might be a rare or expensive material being used, or maybe there are multiple processes that are too complicated or take too long to give a good yield. Both of these things would make it hard to make a battery like this available to the public. Scale is the most important thing to optimize for, and Toyota hasn't really figured out how to do it yet, whether they have a breakthrough battery or not. If they can't get it to customers, it's not worth much, especially for a company that needs to make 10 million cars a year just to stay where they are in the market. We've also seen Toyota make claims about solid-state batteries before, which is strange. Sam Corris of Archie Invest says that solid-state batteries from Toyota were still just 5 years away in 2017. In 2014, they were also 5 years away. Because Toyota's projected release date is hard to pin down, we feel like we're always waiting, and we're not sure if these batteries will ever come out in a reasonable amount of time. They've also always been kept behind closed doors, so there's no real sense of progress there either. Now, even if Toyota is right and solid-state batteries are guaranteed to be around until 2027, there are still some other things to think about. Lithium-ion batteries are still getting better and better very quickly, especially since their prices are falling very quickly. Solid-state batteries could be better in every way, from the amount of energy they hold to how fast they charge, etc. But their cost could be too high to be worth it. That's something that gets missed a lot. Lithium-ion batteries would be years or even decades ahead of solid-state batteries in terms of progress and production. This would make them very cheap to make and have a good energy density for most of the auto market and even the stationary battery storage market. Think about Tesla's Megapack. ARK Invest shows that how much a technology can scale has a big effect on how much its costs go down. So this could make solid-state more of a niche technology, especially when they first come online and are much more expensive than the competition. Tesla and other companies are in the process of putting plans into action to greatly improve the energy density, charging speed, and other aspects of lithium-ion. This means that even though there is a fundamentally better technology, lithium-ion is still a force to be reckoned with. Also, Elon Musk doesn't write off solid-state battery technology just because it hasn't worked yet. He is probably also directing his divisions that study batteries to look into solid-state technology. He has been asked before if the 4,680 production line could work with different kinds of battery technology like solid-state, and he said that it could with a few changes. So many startups and other companies, not just Toyota, are working on new types of battery technology in case a startup comes up with a good idea. Elon Musk has said before that he is very interested in finding better alternatives to what Tesla already has, and Tesla has the money and skills to buy such a company and use its innovations in its own products without any trouble. Now, at the end of the day, it's important to remember that batteries are still just goods. Today, you can buy batteries with a high energy density, but their high prices make it hard to scale up. At the same time, the industry as a whole is working on making cheaper batteries with less energy density. In 5 years, even if batteries only get slightly better, like Tesla said they would at Battery Day in 2020, the range of electric cars will probably be the same as or even better than that of most cars with internal combustion engines, if they aren't already close to the same today. So it will become clear that batteries alone don't make a big difference in how vehicles are different. Instead, software is becoming the most important part, and it has a much bigger impact on how vehicles stand out in the market. This is similar to how phones have changed over time, where being thin and having a long battery life aren't as important as how well they work. So, despite what Toyota hopes for, solid-state batteries won't be the magic solution they're looking for. So, do you think Toyota will be able to make a solid-state battery at some point? Are they relying too much on chemistry that hasn't been tested or developed enough to base their whole business on something that might not be commercially viable for a long time? Watch my last video to learn about Toyota's new hydrogen factory. Please click like and subscribe. We'd love it if you did that. And a big thank you to all of our patrons who help keep our channel going. By joining us, you make it possible for us to keep making great content. Thanks so much to everyone who watched.